I'd like to open the February 5th, 2024 meeting of the City Council for the City of Lake City. If everyone will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to gather this evening to conduct the business of our community. We ask for your guidance tonight, that what we do is pleasing in your eyes. We thank you for looking after our community and guiding us in these deliberations. We ask that you continue to look after our first responders, our troops, and our citizens. In your name we pray. Amen. Ms. Sykes, you call the roll.
Mr. Jernigan?
Present.
Mr. Hill?
Here.
Ms. Young? Here. Mayor Witt?
Here.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Kennan?
Here.
Chief Butler?
Here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lake City Council has opened a public meeting since 1968. The city code prohibited any person from making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the council. Yelling or making horrible comments from the audience constitutes boisterous conduct. Such conduct will not be tolerated. There's only one approved manner of addressing the city council that's to be recognized and speak from the podium. As a reminder, persons are not to openly carry a handgun or carry a concealed weapon or firearm while the governing body is meeting.
Mayor, if I would, before you go on, would you please state for the record, what would happen to a city council or a citizen that violates this rule or policy that you have here? What would happen?
They can be warned, they can be removed from the room.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
I've been provided a statement. As you can tell, the room's a little different tonight. It says, tonight you may notice that the room has been arranged differently. This new layout is for the convenience of those who may be addressing the city council. To accommodate those who may not be able to stand at the podium to address the council and may find it easier to sit when speaking to the council, and to maintain appropriate personal space between those speaking to the council and those seated at the dais. For the convenience of those who are addressing the council, the tables placed to the left and right of the speaker's lectern provide a surface to place notes and other exhibits like posters, charts, graphs that may be needed when you are describing a matter to the council. We hope this avoids the awkwardness of trying to balance posters, charts on the lectern and helps make your comments to the council more effective. For those of you who may find it challenging to stand at the lectern to address the council, the tables provide an accommodating place to sit or pull up a wheelchair or scooter, while also having the convenience of a flat surface on which the person may place their notes similar to the surface provided at the lectern when standing. Again, we hope this allows for more effective interaction between the public and the council when the public is addressing the council. Finally, the tables help maintain an appropriate distance between those addressing the council and those at the dais. If a speaker is too close to the council, not everyone on the dais can see the speaker or any exhibits that they may have to show. The tables are intended to create a comfortable space between those addressing the council and those at the dais to enhance communications during public comment. Everyone is asked to observe the limitations created by the placement of the tables to the left and right of the speaker's lectern. Those not observing these limitations and stepping in the prohibited area will be given a verbal reminder to adhere to the instructions provided on the table signage. Thereafter, a person who continues to enter the prohibited area beyond those limitations created by the table may be escorted from the room by law enforcement for repeated entry to a prohibited area. There's no proclamation. We have minutes from the January the 16th, 2024 regular session.
Move to approve the minutes as published, Mayor.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the minutes as published. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Next is the approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as published, Mayor.
Second.
And a motion and second to approve the agenda as published. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, like sign. Okay, public participation. Mr. Todd, you didn't put this. You just want to speak on 13 to 14?
Yeah, and for participation also, yeah.
Okay, well, come on.
Councilor Glenn about I want to speak briefly, Mayor, on one of the public comments. Two things. First, to call attention to the council that we soon be up on 6 months of the murder of Morale, 6-month anniversary. And I went to the last meeting when there was some discussion about what we're going to do with that fund designated for preventing crime in the community and for youth activity. But I want to suggest to the council that that should be an important item for you to move forward on, that it would be a shame if this budget year goes through. This money is already in the budget, so it makes no sense. I know somebody working on it, but you have to be reminded. And I'm going to remind you and remind you and remind you, and that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to get involved in details. How you work it out, you work it out. But I'll be damn if I'm going to be happy it's going to be here next year this time, and that $200,000 still sitting in the account somewhere. It's not being used to help children in our community. That's first and foremost. Second, ma'am, you read the comment that Mr. Jenkins asked you to re-emphasize at the end of the meeting. Also, Mr. Mayor, it's not just those who may be boisterous and loud from this podium. Disrespect takes place when members of the city council talk among themselves, when you overtalk each other, when you don't recognize them to speak. So, Mr. Mayor, if there's going to be some enforcement for me standing at this podium, I would encourage you, Mr. Mayor, you listening or you?
I am very much listening.
Okay, I would encourage you to insist that people get permission from you to speak on that dais. Otherwise, it's disrespect to me as a citizen, because I can't hear what you're saying. For example, if Councilwoman Young have a conversation with Mr. Hill or with Mr. Journey back and forth about an issue on the agenda, it's not fair for us, because we're here for a reason. I didn't come over here to hear y'all talk among yourselves. I come to the meeting to hear the conversation. The point I'm making to you, that the same rule that applies for us out here, there's some rubber rules order that applies for you all over there. So if you don't insist on us behaving in a certain way, then you all need to follow the same kind of guidelines that you're asking us to follow. And that's all I'm going to say about that, Mr. Mayor. The idea that I'm glad you emphasized that they may be removed from the meeting. And I'm glad we're going to have this workshop too, Mr. Mayor, because the idea that, I'm repeating myself because I'm upset about this, the idea that someone can make a motion to have me put out a meeting because I was loud and boisterous and get a second and that's it, that don't seem right to me. And Mr. Mayor, the mayor, I don't think you have to necessarily entertain a motion. Because somebody make a motion don't mean you got to accept a motion, in my view. But I don't want to see the council to weaponize your position and try to silence those of us who will be loud and boisterous and serious about our comments. And that's what I'm concerned about. I'm not. I know some name calling and all that can go, but don't try to silence free speech.
Thank you. Mr. Warren.
Mr. Mayor, as a particular Councilmember Sylvester Warren, let me start off by saying that particular Councilmember, every meeting here lately, since y'all made the motion to have me wrongly removed, continue to make this a habit of asking what's going to happen to council members or what's going to happen to citizens about this paragraph that you read. Mayor, listen, I'm not thinking about any one of y'all up here. Right? My whole issue is my First Amendment rights. This barrier thing that you made this comments about, it don't even accommodate handicapped people. It ain't even ADA approved. So let's not lie about what the barrier is about, which is fine. If you want the barrier up there for me, dude, there's no way in the world that I would jeopardize my portfolio and everything that I work hard for anybody on this council, right? And I definitely ain't gonna do it in the view of 1,000 witnesses. I am from the streets and I'm smart enough to do something that's dumb. So let me just get on to what I really come to say, Mayor. And I'm gonna tell you that I'm very frustrated, number one, with you. And don't ever lie to me again, Mayor. I'm very frustrated with you. I'm very frustrated with this council. Mayor, allow me to lay out my first grievances first with you. You promised me on several occasions you would have my public records request in time for me in my court date, which was on January 29th. We talked several times on the phone, and I've talked to you in person. You told me you would have it, and I paid the $2,400. All right, I don't play about my money. You may play about your money, and whatever you do with your money, that's fine. How I work and make my money, I take it very seriously, sir. That's number one. Moving on. That didn't happen, and I called that a lie. I have paid top dollar for records in which I believe I have overpaid for. It has always been brought to this council attention on many occasions of my safety regarding the Lake City Police Department. I was told that an IA investigation would not happen while charges were pending against me as it relates to Vanessa being pushed by Officer Chauncey, in which members from the community came up here, demonstrated, and testified to that fact. And I'm frustrated with this administration too, and this administration would include the interim city manager for that matter, that nothing has taken place. He abandoned his duty, not the city manager, I'm talking about the officer. He abandoned his duty when he stopped conducting a traffic stop and approached me, and he was wrong for putting his hands on Vanessa. And all they got in consequence was moved to a different zone. And I'm asking that y'all launch an investigation, and I'm asking you nicely to launch an investigation, internal investigation into him abandoning his duties, into approaching me and putting his hands on Vanessa. That's my first request. I'm asking very nicely, Mayor. I'm asking you to do it before I ask other government agencies to do it. Trying to do the order of chain of command. My second thing, if you bear with me, Mayor, also, I don't find it kosher that the chief of police would put his name in for the city manager job. What, is he not interested in serving the community as a police, as top chief anymore? Because I have not seen anything that he has done to serve our community in crime, and now he wants to lead the city. And where's our citizen review board, Mayor, that you promised us 3 years ago?
There's a statute in Tallahassee right now to abolish them.
Abolish what?
Police advisory committees.
No, I don't care what's in there. You voted on it, you implement it, and if they decide to pass that or not, so you telling me now that you're delaying it because there's a bill?
I haven't delayed.
Yes, you have. Why hadn't it been implemented, Mayor? It's been 3 years.
Workshops. I'm not arguing with you about it.
Okay, when we gonna have a workshop? We having a workshop about everything else. We having a workshop about the quorum. When can we have a workshop about the citizen review board?
We'll bring that up.
When?
I don't know, but we gotta discuss these other workshops that have been canceled but I'm not arguing with you about it.
This is not arguing. This is the problem that we have, Mayor. No one is arguing. People are asking questions, and we can't get answers from our local government. And you're supposed to be the mayor.
Okay, we've done one workshop.
This makes no sense. And then you wonder why Lake City is an embarrassment. Nobody wants to come here.
All right. Did somebody put something? Yeah. Vanessa, George? Oh, you just want to speak on item 3?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have on that. Item 2, City Council Ordinance 2024-2275 on final reading. We're open a public hearing on this. Mr. Kenny, would you read that by title?
Ordinance 2024-2275, an ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending the city code to add new section number 86-2 to Part 3, Chapter 86, Article 1, providing for the regulation of public parks, park hours, and penalties for violations, providing for severability, providing for the repeal of conflicts, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Okay, anybody in the audience wish to speak to this?
Mr. Mayor, I wish to speak to this comment, and I want to know from you, Mr. Mayor, what's the purpose of public comments if we don't get any answers to our questions? Why is the public coming up here, taxpayers who pay y'all salary, who pay for this building, come ask questions and don't get any answers, just get stared at? We've asked questions. We expect answers. And then you wonder why things get all blowed up, because y'all won't answer simple questions, man. It's not that difficult to answer a question.
Address this ordinance.
No, I'm addressing what I want to address. You don't tell me what to do.
Yes, I said anybody wants to speak.
I understand what you said, but you don't tell me what to do. You can ask me to not to remove myself from the mic, but you don't tell me what to do. I'm a grown man.
Anybody else want to speak for or against this ordinance? Okay, we'll close the public hearing. Moving to adoption of the city council ordinance 2024-2275. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, make the motion to approve ordinance 2024-2275, final reading.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any discussion by council? Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll?
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mayor Whit.
Yes. Okay, no resolutions on item 3, discussion possible action applicants for filling the vacancy of council member for City Council District 13. Ms. George, you want to address this?
I do. I noticed that, you only have one applicant. I'm not familiar with the applicant, so I'm not making this comment in regards to the applicant, because like I said, I don't know who this is. But I do want the council to, not just say, okay, we have one applicant and think that you have to accept this applicant. We're going through the same thing in my town, and just because you have someone may not necessarily mean that they're qualified. Y'all had this, seat, where Mr. Jernigan is, it was empty for a while because you couldn't get a qualified candidate. So make sure that you are really studying the candidate, looking at exactly what they're gonna bring to this council and how they'll mix with this council and mesh with this council before you make a decision. Don't just make a decision because you only have one applicant, because I think that would be a mistake. And like I said, this is not to whoever the person is on this, because I don't know who that is.
All right, what's the pleasure of council as to the application for City Council, District 13? We have one applicant, Mr. Carter.
Mayor, I have some others who are interested in the position, and because they did not see it on the website. First question is, what other ways it advertised other than city website?
Lake City Reporter.
Lake City Reporter. Okay, well, neither city website nor Lake City Reporter came to the attention of this person or persons really, and I think we really need to extend it out another 30 days to give these others an opportunity to apply and the application be reviewed.
What's the recommendation of the rest of the council?
Well, like I say, I said on the last time that Mr. Jernigan's seat was vacant at the time. And again, it was drawn out. And I would think that it would be a good idea to extend it out a little further, to give other people's opportunity. I mean, I know Mr. Carter, but I think it needs to be extended out a little more to give other people an opportunity.
Jonathan?
I don't have anything.
Okay. I think Mr. Carter is very qualified. He serves on our planning and zoning board. I think he'd be a good member. But if council wants to extend it, I would recommend no more than a couple of weeks. If people are interested and they know about it now, that 2 weeks is plenty to get an application in.
Well, I don't like the idea of rushing, and I don't really know Mr. Carter, and I can, he may be the man for the position, but I'll make a motion that we extend it 30 days.
Excuse me,
Mr.
Mayor.
Mayor, I signed up.
Mayor,
I signed up to speak that, I think.
We have to keep in mind our 60-day
yes.
deadline under the charter.
So when will that be up?
Well, let me look through here and see what the date.
Is that 60 days for advertising, or is that 60 days to have the
60 days to
seat?
fill.
Okay.
So let me find the date of Mr. Sampson's resignation.
It was effective December the 30th on Mr. Sampson's resignation.
If the council can't come to a consensus, then what do you do? Because we've had that happen too, couldn't come to a consensus, it had no choice but to go out, because the council couldn't come to a consensus.
So we need to do it by the end of this month.
comply with the charter, that'd be correct, be 60 days, probably not counting December 30th, that's the day of the
Right.
crime, out of abundance of caution.
Mr. Carter, you want to? Yes.
James Carter, 362 Southwest Tularosa Lane, Lake City, Florida. I just want to say, obviously, I don't disagree with what Ms. George said as far as making sure that you have the right person regardless of who applies. Anyone can apply. I do want to say this. I was planning on saying it anyhow, but I think it's relevant. I pay attention. I'm involved. I was here the 2nd of January to make sure that I said what I needed to say. I spent a lot of time going to a lot of community events, involved in as many things as I can be. I talk to people all the time, and one of the biggest things I hear people do is complain about the city council, complain about the state of the city, complain about the county, complain about local government. And the thing I ask people a lot is, what are you doing? Are you running for something? Are you spending time working with a charity? Are you doing anything to take part? Are you trying to make it a better place, or are you just complaining about it? So that's the reason that I want to serve on the city council. Like I said in my letter of intent, if I'm not appointed, I intend to run, I intend to win, I intend to represent my district. If I am appointed, the next thing I'll be doing is walking door to door to every 1,800 citizens in my district, making sure every one of them knows me, making sure everyone gets a personal invitation from me to come to these meetings. When something matters, they're going to be heard. So, like I said, they quoted me nice in the newspaper the other day. I'm a firm believer, and I've been saying it for years. If you want to live in a nice place, you should dedicate a portion of your time to making that place nice. I've done my best to do that in my spare time, my entire adult life. I love Lake City. I'd love to help y'all lead it. So that's my piece. If y'all have any questions, I'm going to be happy to answer.
Mr. Cannon, our next meeting is in 2 weeks, and then the next meeting will be the first of the next month, which will be just beyond that. Do we have to do it by the next meeting, or then we do the first meeting?
Well, I mean, council has the flexibility, but the charter requires that it be, you take whatever reasonable necessary actions to comply with the charter, which would be 60 days from the effective date of the resignation of Mr. Sampson.
Well, my main concern is we stay within the charter.
We gotta do it 2 weeks. Or have a special meeting. I think 2 weeks is fine. I'd go along with 2 weeks, and then we can take care of it.
Well, I don't want us to frown on a special meeting because it's for the concern of the city. I mean, we meet for other things. So if a special meeting is necessary, then I say call the special meeting.
Well, let's do the special meeting. Can we just go from there?
I don't have a calendar in front of me, so what would the 60th day be? Starting with the day after December 30th?
It'd be like the 29th, so we'd have to do it maybe that Monday. Yeah.
The 29th of March?
Yes, no, February.
That's good. Thursday.
Except we met on that Monday. We have a workshop day. If we could do that, why don't we do it on the 26th, we have a workshop. That's only a day or two. Good with that. All right, we'll have a special meeting on the 26th of February, and do the workshop and the city council.
What time do you want to do the workshop on that day?
What time is the workshop scheduled for now?
What's scheduled for 6?
Y'all do 5 or 6?
6 o'clock, please.
6, okay, 6 o'clock.
And what time for the special meeting?
Why don't we do the special meeting first, and then we can go into the workshop?
Okay, special meeting at 6 p.m.
Yep, and then the workshop to follow.
Announce the date again, please.
February 26th.
Mayor, I was gonna suggest to recommend that we do the quorum on the 26th, instead of the one that you got scheduled. So I want to do that and maybe push that one back to.
I think it's on further down the agenda,
Yes, so I was gonna address it, so I just want to let you know when it comes up.
that we can switch them out, but still do them at 6 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
What are we switching out? Let's name it.
Nothing yet.
Okay. So, item 4 is off. New business. We have City Council Ordinance 2024-2276 on first reading. Can we read that by title?
Mr. Mayor, before we proceed this, because it relates to annexation, the recommendation of legal that this item, number 5 and number 9, be treated as quasi-judicial proceedings, so that if anyone wishes to address the council regarding this item, that they would be sworn, testimony taken in that manner, and then as to this item, would need to I guess, poll the council members to see if they've had any ex parte communications regarding item number 5 on the voluntary annexation.
And number 9.
Same procedure we follow. My recommendation is we follow that on number 9.
Okay. All right, did anybody have any ex parte discussions on this item? I have not.
You haven't had all.
That nobody has.
I'm sorry. I was trying to warm up a little bit.
I think you should break you there. Could you repeat it?
Mr. Kennon wants to know if anybody's had ex parte discussions about item number 5 with anybody. Okay, Mr. Kennon, you want to read it?
I will. Ordinance number 2024-2276, an ordinance of the city of Lake City, Florida pursuant to petition number ANX 24-01 relating to voluntary annexation, making findings, annexing certain real property located in Columbia County, Florida, which is reasonably compact and contiguous to the boundaries of the city of Lake City, Florida, into the boundaries of the city of Lake City, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date.
And did you say we need to ask for public comments on this?
Correct.
Is there anybody wish to speak for or against this, under oath for City Council Ordinance 2024-2276?
Ms. Melvin.
Okay, I guess you need to be sworn in now.
Oh,
Okay,
I can go, man.
all right. Is there a motion to adopt City Council Ordinance 2024-2276? We gonna get a motion or y'all wanna?
Do y'all need some information on this one, Mayor, or?
Please.
All right, so this is for, a location on 441. She's trying to do a restaurant called, don't quote me, Mama Jeanette's Kitchen. So basically she's voluntarily annexing into the city so she can get the utilities.
Oh, okay.
Is there a motion?
Yes. Mayor, I make the motion to approve ordinance 2024-2276 on the first reading.
There's a second. I'll second it for a vote. All right, any further discussion?
This, correct me if I'm wrong, this property that she's trying to annex in, that's that old S&S building?
That's
out across
correct.
from Target?
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Sykes, you call the roll.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mayor Witt,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
I really need more discussion. I did call and get a little information on this, but I'm not totally clear on it. Not clear enough to vote yes.
We're still in discussion?
We're still in.
Dave, do you wanna come up here and maybe give them, Mayor, do you have a problem with that? Explain what's going on
We're in the middle of voting, Mr. Cannon.
with that?
Pull the motion
Yeah,
back.
we need to finalize the voting.
Before we have any more
Right,
discussion.
we'd already opened up discussion and then the motion was made.
Can we pull the motion back?
That'd be up to the
Yeah.
Yes, we can, I'll throw that motion back.
Okay. All right,
Mr. Witt, Mayor Witt, you
yes.
withdrawing your second? Okay.
Okay, if you could address this for her.
Yes, as Dee stated, this is Mama Jeanette Restaurant. She's been working on this for approximately 3 years. She's worked with the county prior, getting stuff done, and now she wants to get into the city so she can get utilities, which is right across the street from her. And that's what this is about. She's trying to annex in.
And just to add in there, this is something that is supported by staff.
Ms. Young, if you're not familiar with the area, you know the Target warehouse is? It's right across the street from it. It used to be an SNS little convenience store. I think this young lady bought this building, and like Dave said, she's been working on it for quite some time, trying to open up a restaurant.
Well, I'm going with the majority and say yes.
Okay.
So
Okay, we need to go back to the motion. Okay. Dave,
Make the motion, make the motion to approve resolution 2024-2276 on first reading.
second. Any discussion back out? Dr. you call the roll.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mayor Witt,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan,
Yes.
Okay. Next, City Council Ordinance 2024-2278 on first reading. Mr. Cannon, would you read that one?
Ordinance number 2024-2278, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending the city code to add a new section number 86-110.22 to Article 3, Chapter 86, which provides for the permanent vacating of a right-of-way, finding that the right-of-way was abandoned by the city, finding that the closing of the right-of-way will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, finding that it is in the best interest of the city and for the general welfare of its citizens to close the right-of-way, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, providing for inclusion into the city code, and providing an effective date.
Is there a motion on the City Council Ordinance number 2024-2278?
Mr. Mayor, make the motion to approve resolution 2024-2278 first reading.
Got a second?
I'll second.
Got a second? Any discussion by council? Ms. Iker, you call the roll.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan,
Yes.
Mayor Witt.
Yes. Okay, item 7. City Council Ordinance 2024-2279 on first reading. Mr. Kenny, would you read that by title?
Ordinance number 2024-2279, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending Article 1, Section 70-2 of the city code relating to residency requirements, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Is there a motion that the City Council Ordinance number 2024-2279?
Mr. Mayor, make the motion to approve ordinance 2024-2279 first reading.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Ms. Iker, you call the roll, please.
Mayor, may I make a comment?
Yeah.
At the last meeting, there was some discussion about also removing some of those other positions that have residency requirements attached to them, as the city manager was talking about. Is it the council's pleasure to remove any of those other director positions as listed there? To remove those on first reading as well, or do you want it to leave it as stated? It's on, section 70.2 in the packet. It does say no person may be employed by the city in the capacity of police chief, fire chief, director of gas services, director of public works, water treatment plant manager, wastewater facilities manager, recreation director, assistant city manager, airport manager, growth management director, director of customer service, data processing manager, spray fields facilities manager, safety risk management director, city treasurer, city clerk, and city manager are also all included in the residency requirements.
We'll deal with it as it is.
Not as-
You would have the opportunity, if you wanted to pass a subsequent ordinance, to address other positions too.
Yeah, I think we'll just do this one tonight.
Okay, Ms. Jones, you said about to say something.
Alright,
I would say that it states, city manager, police chief, and fire chief.
Has to live in the city.
So, right, to live in the city.
Like I say, you would have the opportunity, we were addressing the
Right.
attorney position because of the situation.
yeah,
But we
let's,
could come back and draft another ordinance if council wanted to provide staff with the delineation of which positions they would want also eliminated from the residency, then we could have a mirror resolution for first reading at the next meeting that would address those other positions. And then obviously, if we didn't remove any, they would remain intact as required to be citizens.
okay, so y'all gonna leave it as it is?
Yes,
Okay. Alright, call the roll,
Okay.
please.
Mr. Hill,
yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan,
Yes.
Mayor Witt.
Yes. We will move into resolutions. Item 8, City Council Resolution 2024-008. Mr. Kenny, would you read that by title?
City Council Resolution Number 2024-008, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, adopting revisions to the city's procurement policy and procedure to contribute to the strategic goals of achieving efficiency, transparency, cost savings, and fairness in the city's procurement procedures.
Is there a motion that City Council Resolution 2024-008?
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve resolution 2024-008.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan,
Yes.
Mayor Witt.
Yes. Item 9, City Council Resolution 2024-009. Mr. Kenny, would you read that by title? This is the other one that he mentioned was quasi judicial.
That's correct.
If anybody wants to speak, will be speaking under oath, and they'll speak to this resolution.
And I can go ahead and read the title, so we have that in the record. City Council Resolution Number 2024-009, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, approving a replat filed by Gateway Development LLC for a major subdivision of real property within the city, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
Okay,
And
is there a
then,
motion of City Council Resolution 2024?
We would need to ask and confirm whether there be any
Anybody
ex
wants to
parte
speak?
or any ex parte communications of council members on this agenda item.
Does anybody have any ex parte communication? No. I haven't. And I don't see anybody wanting to speak, so is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve resolution 2024-009.
Is there a second? I'll second it for a vote. Any discussion? Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll?
Are we finished with the quasi judicial proceeding, or are we finished with that? Are we finished with? the
Yes, we had
okay.
no public comment.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mayor Witt,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan.
Yes.
Okay, item 10, City Council Resolution 2024-014. Mr. Kenny, would you read that by title?
City Council Resolution Number 2024-014, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, appointing Ricky Jernigan to serve on the Columbia County Tourist Development Council.
Okay, is there a motion on the City Council Resolution 2024?
Mr. Mayor, before you make that vote, I'm not trying to break Robert's rule, but I think that you may have an oversight that I did ask to speak on that issue.
And we haven't had it clarified whether we could have comments before a motion or after a motion.
But you just said at the last meeting that you're gonna go with the traditional way that we done things until
Well,
you.
go ahead and speak.
I mean, Mayor, I'm
Go
just
ahead.
asking for your consistency, I'm just repeating you. Mayor, first thing I wanna know is, what role does the city play and what roles does the TDC play in Lake City itself? When I say Lake City, because there are funds that the TDC have, right? They're supposed to be used throughout recreation and spread, and there's a special bed tax that they pay, and most of that money is spent over at Southside. But you have Richardson, you have all these other places in the inner city that don't receive any TDC funds. So I'm trying to understand what's the purpose of our relationship with TDC and what is the benefit that the city gets from it? And how would certain council members have a certain amount of time to do certain things when, from what I understand as being a part of that family, that they're needed to be at the hospital and with ill family members and siblings and whatnot. So again, what's our benefit?
Well, a lot of the hotels that pay bed tax are in the city. Some of their stuff does funnel over. I agree that it's not distributed proportionally around the county. But that's they have to vote on that.
Well, I mean, so we participate with an organization who is biased and is not inclusive in the way that they spend their money, the way that organization spends its money throughout the whole city.
We just have a representative there to be able to.
Why would the city be a representative of somebody?
Been for years, and we have our one vote.
So since this is a good old boy thing, we're gonna just because we did in the past is a good idea to do in the future. But you just stated that it's very biased. It does not include the whole community. And we, as a city, we sit on there and represent and wave and say, hey, we agree with this board. We represent it. We got one vote on it, and they don't do anything in certain parts of the community.
I don't think we have to agree. I think we do need representation on it.
Oh, how? And we don't get anything from it.
Well, I can't say we don't get anything, but.
Oh, just the black community don't get anything. Okay.
No, I don't know that.
Yeah. I know, because you don't never come to the hood. But I know because I live there. I've never seen any TDC dollars spent into my black community. Have you? Have you, Mr. Hill? Have you, Ms. Young? I know Mr. Jernigan, he thinks he's white at times, but have you? I know his people live up there.
Okay. Is there a motion on the City Council Resolution 2024-014?
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve resolution 2024-014.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, motion on a second, any discussion? Ms. Ivy, call roll, please.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mayor Whit?
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Jernigan.
Okay, item on Merlin City Council Resolution 2024-016. Mr. Kenny, would you read that by title?
I have a question.
Sure.
Is it proper order that Mr. Jernigan vote on this
Yes.
item?
Yes.
Okay, just asking.
I mean, he don't have any pecuniary interest in it.
Right.
And
he could deny want to be on this.
Say that again?
He could deny want to be on this board.
Well, if he didn't want to be on it, I don't think his name would be, I don't think
I'm
he'd
just
be
saying,
able to do
you asked
it.
that question.
Oh,
Mr. Mayor, I was trying to report this.
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Everybody done with that?
Yes, sir, thank you.
City Council Resolution 2024-016. Mr. Kenny, would you read that?
City Council Resolution 2024-016, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lake City, Florida, appointing Sergeant Kevin Johns as elected members of the Board of Trustees of the Lake City Municipal Police Officers Retirement Trust Fund.
Okay, Mr. Warren.
Mr. Mayor, I emailed, I want to say I emailed Mr. Johnson, and I may have CC'd some other people as it relates to Sergeant Kevin Johns. If you recall, Mayor, Sergeant Kevin Johns, I don't think he was a sergeant at the time. There was a complaint written by me and others, in which, Officer Johns, I quote, he treat black people differently than he does white people. That allegation was semi-sustained, was sustained, and I was given a letter by Agatha Gilmore at the time, who's the former police chief, and they said that in those remarks that he made, that they verbally counseled him. I don't understand how you make a racist remark as a cop, that you treat blacks different than whites. You get counsel. He's been promoted since then, and now y'all are asking that he be appointed as a trustee member. And I remember when I just wanted to volunteer my time to serve on the planning and zoning board, and the whole community came out and raised hell, but a guy who openly admits that he treats blacks different than whites up under the oath that he took to serve and protect. Y'all getting ready to make this guy a pension board trustee, which I'm quite sure y'all gonna continue to do it anyhow since I oppose it. But I would reflect on the fact that this is a fact that he did this. And y'all are considering this guy to be a trustee over money, both black officers and white officers. And he said out of his own mouth, and they only verbally counsel him, and they've promoted him since then. I guess if you be a bad cop, you get promoted. If you be a good cop, you have to move away from here and have somebody else to retain you. I just don't understand how we reward bad behavior when it comes to cops, but we put barriers up for law-abiding citizens, and we don't give them police citizen review boards to govern the behavior of cops. And also, we infringe on their First Amendment rights. I just don't understand how citizens get treated so badly, but cops get treated like heroes when they're bad cops. Thank you.
Just point of clarification too. This is not a council appointment to that pension board. We've already appointed ours at several prior meetings. This is a ratification of the vote held by the police department to appoint their own representative. So there's, we have a certain number of appointments, and then the final member is appointed by an election of the police officers, and this is that particular candidate. So it's not a council appointment.
Okay. Is there a motion as the City Council Resolution 2024-016?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that resolution number 2024-016.
With a second?
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Discussion, I have a question, because I did ask this question. What was this resolution, what was it concerning? And my concern is, and I don't know, I'm not familiar with this policy, and I was given the same answer as which the attorney just gave, but I'm still left out into why are we voting on something that we're really not a part of? If this is what the police chief and their administration want, what are we voting yes to? If I vote yes, what am I voting yes to?
Just ratifying it for public record, is that correct, Mr. Chairman?
You're confirming their vote and legally constituting that particular board with the final member. The procedure is laid out, and so all you're doing is by your ratification is constituting the final member of that pension board.
I'm ratifying the final member of the pension board. That's what I'm saying yes to.
And he was the one voted on by the police department, that are part of that, pension.
So if I'm gonna vote yes, I'll vote yes to yes, I'm voting yes that this is now public records. I vote yes to that, but
Okay, we haven't had a motion yet.
no, I'm just saying.
Okay.
But that just bring about many questions for me. And maybe that's something I need to get more information along the way. But my yes, if I'm gonna say yes, I mean yes to, everything that I'm reading here. I just don't find it honest to say, I say yes to what the chief and his administration, appoint this person. Do you have something that?
I just wanted to clarify, it's not the chief.
Who is it?
This is, police staff, this is the pension board, the chief doesn't have any say-so.
Okay, well, the board.
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So basically, if I can explain it a little bit more, Ms. Young, so they are, basically, this seat has to be voted upon by the pension board. Everybody gets a selection, y'all get a selection. And so they already voted, and like they've said, this is to bring it back to y'all to put it on record in the city's records.
Okay, so I'm only voting yes that it goes on record.
Yes.
That makes more sense.
It's the 5th member trustee,
Okay.
yes.
Did we have a motion?
You have a motion and a second.
Okay, all right. I'll roll, please.
Okay, Mr. Jernigan,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mayor Witt.
Yes. Okay. Next is discussion of possible action, town hall meeting, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. Recently, well, in the past, we have had town hall meetings. Each of y'all go out and, hear from your constituents, get some feedback. We haven't done that in a while. We don't have any money budgeted for it, so I would like to put at least $6,000 over there to give you $1,000 for, for your guests, and maybe $1,000 for advertisement for each seat that sits up here. I'm not sure if that was the amount that each of y'all would like, but I figured it was a good start to at least get a meeting out there, and basically get the conversation started. But I do think it's been a while since we have had one, and that interaction would be very beneficial to get us that's who we depend on to bring the needs to us, because a lot of times we don't see it. So if we can get y'all out there to speak to them, I just think it would help us out to have that communication with the citizens.
Okay, you're saying budget 6,000, and how much?
Yes, I wanted to take the funds from the undesignated programs because it's public assistance, and with this being something dealing with the public, I just figured it'll take it out of there.
How much would it be per meeting?
$1,000, and you'll take the extra $1,000 and spread it between all the seats just for advertisement and stuff like that.
Okay, Mr. Warren, you want to speak?
Yeah, I definitely want to speak this because I want some clarity. So if I understand you correctly, and may I, Mr. Mayor, address this to you and you address this to Mr. Johnson, how do you prefer me to do this?
However, just.
So, I want to be clear that I'm understanding that Mr. Johnson, some way in his thinking, right, thinking that it's a good idea, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the taxpayers are gonna pay to hear from the elected leaders that they put money into their campaigns, voted for, and we're gonna pay them to speak to us as if we're going to a speaking engagement. Because our taxpayer dollars is going to host an event for them to speak to us. So we're getting ready to pay council members to speak to us.
May I speak on
I'm confused, because if a council member want to hold a town hall, how it's traditionally have been done, Mayor, and you've been around politics for a long time, so if you want to talk to your people in your district, then you need to hold your town hall meeting out your pocket, just like you held a campaign out of your pocket when you wanted the people to vote, and the taxpayers voted for you. I mean, I'm not gonna pay to talk to my representative. I'm not gonna pay to come to no meeting with my tax dollars, and I'm a big taxpayer. If I'm gonna talk to my representative, if they wanna hold a town hall meeting, they better hold it out of their pocket. I hold out the money that I pay them every year. I'm ready for a follow-up question from Ms. Young. Let's see what the church lady got to say.
And it derived from, my asking about a town hall meeting, and it is in planning for a town hall meeting. And I will not fund it totally out of my pocket. I will fund part of it. I will not fund all of it out of my pocket. Not that I don't think the city is worthy of it, but it's just, I think there should be money set aside. Food is very expensive. Y'all been in the grocery store? Food is very expensive. And if I hold a town hall meeting, I want it to be, enough for the people. I expect for the people to come, and it'll be more, I'm sure, more than District 10. And I know that when we set a feast, then it will draw the people. We know that.
This ain't church.
So it's not church, but
Yeah, this ain't church.
So it ain't church, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, but Jesus and his 5 loaves of
people.
bread and his fish,
Well,
that ain't gonna work for the community. This is taxpayer dollars. Ain't nobody finna pay to come hear you speak, Ms. Young.
It's not to hear me speak.
Well, yes, you is. You're gonna hold a town hall meeting, Mayor, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Johnson. Each member is gonna hold a town hall meeting, and the taxpayer dollars is gonna pay for them to be assembled somewhere for the food and everything else, for them to come talk to their representative. Am I correct or wrong?
Yes, they'll be going into drinks, refreshments, entertainment, cleanup.
No, Mayor, no, that makes no sense.
Okay.
That makes no sense. No, I'm just saying, like, that's being very irresponsible with taxpayers' dollars. That we elect you, we put money into your campaigns, and then we gotta pay to hear from you. That is not fair. Speech is free.
Okay. That's all I have. Mr. Bowden, you want to speak on this?
13, I want to speak on 14.
Okay. Yeah, that's right, I have 13, 14. Okay, what's, pleasure of council?
Well, I think in the past that the town hall meetings that I have attended, the turnout wasn't that great. But anything to get the constituents involved, I'm for it. The refreshments, that's optional. I mean, we can either or, it doesn't matter.
In the past, we've had town hall meetings, we've done advertising, and I don't know what that costs, but we did do advertising. I think that's a legitimate expense.
Go ahead, man. Y'all go ahead and pass the church. All we have is a repass. And go ahead, have a repass.
But I'm not sure we need to feed them. I'm not sure we have to feed them and do all that, but there is expenses of the staff and things like that that have to be dealt with. And we hadn't had a town hall in a while.
It's not the traditional town hall. If it's the traditional town hall, I can see, but.
Wait, it's not a traditional town hall?
No, sir. It's a lot more than just, the council person talking to, the community. There's a lot more, and given the opportunity, I believe the community would be very appreciative.
Again, Ms. Young, I hear what you're saying, and I've been down that road, boys, trying to get the community out, get the constituents out. It's gonna be a hit and miss.
No, yeah, you can't, okay. I don't like for us to look behind us and say what happened behind us. We are in a new era. You gotta do things differently. But if you all say no, fine. You're welcome.
Again, don't get me wrong, I would love for my people, my constituents to definitely come out.
Ms. Young, all I can say is I applaud your effort. I like it. So, again, I applaud it. Thank you.
Yeah, I do appreciate the effort. So, it's good to get out with the community. I'm like, We never had, I think we had 4 or 5 went to every district, and, it got thinner and thinner every time we did it.
I think, when they did it in District 12, we held it at Teen Town. And we may have had 10 people to show up. It was well advertised. We had refreshments.
I dare you give it a chance.
Any motion?
Well, Mayor, at least do y'all wanna put any money over there for the advertising, because there's nothing in the budget for advertising for town hall meetings?
I would totally agree with that.
Yes.
I'm not really sure Ms. Sykes will have to come up with that, but we can get your final numbers as far as advertising.
Y'all have a motion to at least do the advertising?
So. This is crazy. So, you can't ask for sponsors, no one can donate monies. It's just if there's a town hall meeting, everything falls on the council person. Is that what we expect? No one can, we can't accept donations, no sponsors.
But in the past, but I mean, if you wanna pay for it, that's on you, but in the past, the city provided, help me out with this, Audrey. The city did the advertising, the refreshments, and whatever else.
So it's not new that the city paid for the refreshments.
I think, if we did refreshments, I think it may have been something very simple, like maybe bottled water or cookies. It wasn't, it was very, minimal. And as they have stated, I remember the one that you're talking about at the girls club at Teen Town. I don't know that there was 10 people there. It was a very low attended one at that location. I do remember that one. The one here wasn't so bad. I remember the one that we had here was pretty well attended.
Yes, sir.
If I may, I also attended a meeting at Richardson, separate from the city county meeting that the city put on. And it was an informational meeting for the public. And there's gonna be a lot of things coming up in utilities and the water side that we're gonna need to have meetings with the public. So if you're stuck on this town hall concept, make it more of an informational meeting in each of the districts. Not saying we have to serve refreshments or anything like that, but we're gonna have to get out to the people, and we're gonna have to make these new EPA standards and everything known. So this would be a good place to do it. I was looking at doing it with Breakfast with the Chief, and me and Dee have been talking about, we gotta get out there and do it. This would be the perfect opportunity if you have other departments out there that need to get out and make things known. You could have your department directors come, you could have your local representatives come, everybody can talk with the public. And you gotta call it town hall, you can call it an informational session, however you wanna call it. But it would be something good to fund, at least to put the word out there that we're having these meetings and try to get the public more involved.
And thank you so much for that. And it really, is not called a town hall, and we discussed that. And I don't know how we get town hall on the paper. But we did say it's not a typical town hall, so we will rename it. I can't remember, did we even come up with something?
I think we just talked about it.
But as well, we had directors there as well, so they could
Would be.
have, given the public input. Answering the question for the public.
So what's the plan? I'd like to at least do the advertising.
Yes.
You wanna make that motion?
I make the motion for D to set aside the funds for the advertising of the community outreach community, whatever the name, whatever way y'all come up with.
Engagement.
Yeah, community engagement.
So that's just advertisement, no refreshments?
Just
No,
advertisement.
Yeah, refreshments in past.
Yeah. But if you like to donate refreshment,
Don't show, don't get.
Is there a second?
Do you need an amount to be?
I mean, whatever the cost may be, I'm not sure on the exact cost right now. That will run through the clerk's office as far as the advertising.
okay.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Okay. Any further discussion? Ms. Sykes, will you call the roll?
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mayor Witt,
Yes.
Ms. Young,
I'm not voting with just, announcements only.
so is that a nay vote?
That's a nay vote.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
All right. Okay, let's get to project updates, Mr. Johnson.
Alrighty, I handed y'all a handout of the projects. Would y'all like me to go through and read them out, or do y'all wanna look it over yourself? Mayor?
Fill them briefly.
Yeah, I can run through them. So far as Annie Maddox Park, we have the camera project that we're currently finishing up. We are, right now, are requesting quotes for electrical and pole installment at the park. We did a site visit the other day and basically just getting the spots ready for the poles. Gwen Lake, we have submitted the funding applications. I expect they will soon issue a RFI to gather more specific details about the project. Lake Montgomery Pier, we're waiting on completion of construction for the install of the cameras and the fencing around it. The pier has not started, so we're just waiting on FWC to finish that up. Relocation of the Welcome to Downtown sign has been completed. As far as the install, we are currently waiting for FPL approval to do the finalization on the lighting. We have temporary lighting there, but we will hardwire that into the poles. The downtown parking lot that y'all instructed us to do down the road, we have basically got the pole up, got the lights up, but we're waiting for the actual bulbs to come in and FPL to set a meter out there. Saligeri Park, camera installation is complete. State Road 47 RV Park septic to sewer project, we are currently waiting on the final construction documents from the engineer. The 47 I-75 extension, engineers are completing surveying and doing more testing for the board to be done under 47. Bell Road, plans are still around 80%. I think the January 2nd meeting, y'all approved a change order to do some more surveys to maybe move some utility lines around to fit everything in there. Wilson Park Amphitheater, right now, according to the special condition 1 of the FDP permit, we have submitted the necessary documentation for approval to start construction. I have not got any word back yet. Patterson Avenue resurfacing, asphalt is currently still curing. Permanent striping will follow once that is cured in place. Grandview resurfacing, we did go out for bid. Bids came back over budget. Additional funding of approximately $127,000 is needed at this time. I got the engineers reviewing the bid to ensure there was no unit of measurement discrepancies in the bid. We're also reaching out to FDOT's grant manager to see if there's any additional funding that might be available before we bring this back to you to actually know the shortfall. 100A in Bascom North, septic to sewer, we just received a cost estimate from the engineers. We'll be having a meeting next week to schedule to identify funding sources. And if anything on here I left out and y'all wanna see at the next update, just let me know.
I got a question about the Bascom Norris. Is that to tie those people on Bascom Norris into the city sewer?
That's correct.
Okay.
Mr. Ken, the eminent domain on Sally G.
Yeah, Miss Adams is handling that, and I did not get a chance to call her today, but I'll follow up and get, Mr. Johnson an update on that.
Okay, Mr. Warren, you want to speak?
Man, you getting better. You woke up, you starting to read my mind. I just was gonna ask about Salamé Park. With that park has sat dormant for so long, we're trying to get this eminent domain process done, and I wish Mr. Sampson wouldn't have attacked the idea of threatening to sue Mr. Ken. I think we would have probably have that finalized by now. That's just my opinion. But I do want to commend Mr. Johnson, and I'm gonna tell you this, Mayor, I don't care what none of you up here say, I ain't never in my entire life, 43 years of living in Lake City, have seen stuff put on a person's desk. And we know, everybody know the government move like the slowest thing ever. That a person expedite things that fast that D. Johnson has done and put on his plate as an interim city manager. I've never seen nobody, and nobody can go against what I'm saying because everything I say, I got receipts and facts to it. Ain't nobody never sat in that seat, have ever expedited the stuff put before him as fast and as efficient as he have. And I commend you for that. I'm gonna criticize your ass when the time comes, but I commend you for that. I ain't never seen that. Now I give you that. But Mel, I think we're moving in the right direction with these updates. I like these updates. I think that makes the community happy. We get a feel as to where these projects are at, where they're going, what's been accomplished. So I appreciate council adding that on to the agenda and a part of the agenda. And I hope we continue to do these timely updates and let the community know what's going on. And I will say this, I think that what attendance you typically see at a council meeting, right, is the attendance that you typically see at a town hall meeting. Unless it's some type of, paramount issue that the community have great concern about. But again, thank you all for this project update. And again, awesome expediting of these projects. You just don't know how, I just can't express how good it feels just to have projects for the first time. And what I think, Mr. Bond, we've been fighting for 7 years to see projects move this fast. It's just been gridlock after gridlock since you come on board. And anything we need a bench turned back over. Before we can say turn it over, you got to flip back over. So, thank you.
Mayor, you mind if I comment to that? Thank you, Mr. Warren, but I must give all the credit to the staff. I sit in the building. We have some men and women in this city that take their job very seriously and they put a lot of passion into it. So it's nice for you to give those compliments to me, but I must pass them on to the staff.
Well, at least thank you for quarterbacking.
Thank you.
Okay. And we appreciate you and the staff. Okay, next is item 14, discussion possible action, reschedule council workshop to discuss council meeting to court. Mr. Jernigan.
Mayor, thank you. I don't know how my name come up there, but I really appreciate that. We canceled this workshop on the 29th of January because we had to go to Tallahassee. So I'm gonna suggest and recommend that we move the February 26th council workshop on affordable housing to the next Monday, and the quorum be on the 26th of February, and the workshop that we had for the 26th, move it to the following Monday.
Following Monday, I think would be a meeting night.
Well, let's go to the following Monday.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
May I ask, why are we having a workshop on affordable housing? What is it that we're discussing about affordable housing that calls for a workshop?
I think we just talked about it in the past and we decided to have one to get some ideas of what we want to do in the community and what we can do as government. Just have a discussion on it. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson, will you help me out on this a little bit? From what I recall, back when Mr. Dowell was here, he prepared a list of all the vacant parcels or all the properties that the city had, prepared a packet, submitted it to the council for review to see if there was anything that you wanted to do with all those parcels of land. So I do think that kind of plays into that. In addition, this was also supposed to be an opportunity to go over the application and the policy for the grant funding of requests as well, and Mr. Johnson can expand on that as well. That is needed so that we can start looking at expenditure of some funds.
Yeah, I would definitely say the spending of the grant funds or of the special events, special events. I think that needs to be on one of the meetings coming up. Maybe we can mix that one with decorum. I don't think those two things will have too much time on them. And I think the housing would probably have the longest time. That's just my idea, because you're gonna have more people with ideas coming up on that one. So, I mean, I'm not sure as far as how y'all wanna schedule them, which one that y'all want first. But I would definitely recommend putting probably decorum and the application together.
Okay, decorum and application can be February 26th, and then the affordable housing project properties can be 3/12/24. Same time, the same time.
Mr. Warren, you want to speak?
I'm very disappointed in what we're hearing here tonight, Mayor, especially from Mr. Jernigan, who my aunt, which would be his mother, who is deceased, God bless the dead. This, Mr. Mayor, this is my presentation. I have not said I'm sorry, what did you say, Mayor?
I said, let's keep it to the issue.
This is the issue.
Okay.
I'm speaking on the importance of affordable housing. She got her house built through the CDBG. And so housing is the most paramount thing in the community in which he was born and raised in, and where his mother was a part of affordable housing along with other family members of ours. And so as we look at this community and the need of affordable housing, you're saying that a decorum workshop and some policies on releasing $4,000 or $5,000 to grant money is more of an important topic than housing in this community? And you got homelessness, you got families living with families. I mean, it's just, I want to make sure that we put this on record, because I'm gonna go back and put on my Facebook page. I want the world to see that you all are saying that you all would prioritize housing, right? Y'all would prioritize y'all would prioritize decorum over housing, affordable housing. Just like y'all took the CDBG grant and prioritized a band shell over affordable housing back then, when I told y'all how important affordable housing was. And we would be ahead of this curve. So I just want to be clear, and I want to be able to go back to each district as I go in and advertise and make my social media posts, that you all are prioritizing, if y'all make this vote, y'all are prioritizing decorum and grant funding over the importance of homelessness and affordable housing. That's all I want to know, is where y'all saying which one is going to go first. And by whichever one goes first, then I can take that back to the community, put it on social media, and say this is what our council has prioritized. Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Barrett, is this the one you want to speak on?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much. I didn't intend to speak of it the way that Mr. Warren did, but I didn't think it was going to play out like this. But I share his concern. I don't understand in terms of priorities. I can't make this up. I don't understand how the core, as a discussion out, a workshop out, a time that people gonna come down and can take priority over affordable housing. I just, for the life of me, I don't see how that's more important. You know, and the quorum is just a, what they call a red flag. Y'all be talking about Robert rules of order. And that's what I really want to talk about, Matt. I'm here now, I'm upset because I'm looking at this. And I don't know how y'all see this from sitting up there. This is a barrier. If you're scared, say you're scared. If you're scared of the men in black, something, this is a barrier. This ain't, that's a smoke screen. Handicap accessible? Give me a break. This is a barrier. This is what this is. Put some concertina while you had in Vietnam process. I mean, you don't want the public walking up there to talk to you? You scared? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 police officers in here, and probably 2 or 3 outside. Dogs around the corner. You walk through a metal detector. Now you got a wall up here. You might as well put a barbed wire up here. And I'm upset, man. I mean, what you all doing here now, I'm blaming everybody because it shouldn't have happened. This is a barrier. I was on city council for 16 years. I've been coming up. I come to most city council meetings and all y'all been together since I've been out of office, and I've never seen this. This is a barrier, man. Get off the police officer and stand like this. That's what this is. That's what it means to me. That's what it looked like to me. What you gonna do? When the meeting over, wait till everybody stay seated. Police officer escort the members out the building. That's what it looked like. You up there looking out here, but us looking up there, this is a barrier. And I'm ashamed that you're doing it. And I resent it. And I got 51 seconds. The discussion at the decorum, whenever it happens, it gotta be about the Robert's Rule of Order. It can't be just about how we talk. Since I made the comment earlier, I watched y'all up here tonight. You're still talking among yourselves. The rules should be Mr. Mayor, Mr. Johnny can speak. Mr. Johnny get through, Mr. Hill, you recognize. That's how it's supposed to go. Otherwise, we sitting out here like we just come to the meeting just to watch a show. I got things to do, man. I want to be involved. But right now, it seems like y'all trying to stop me from being involved. I resent this. This is a barrier. It serves no purpose. I ain't been up here not one time somebody got me and said, Mr. Man, I need to get a seat. When? It never happened. Not happened one time. And this man can be moved, you can take this man and take to the tail if they want to talk to you. But this barrier right here, this is insulting. It's shameful. If you're scared, say you're scared.
Okay. I think we're only talking about 2 weeks difference, so if that really mattered to me, we'll do both of them and get them both done. So.
Well, Mr. Mayor, if you think about it, a few weeks back, we had the quorum, and then we had morale.
Right.
So I think Ms. Young said something about that we should do morale first.
Right.
And then I came back and seconded that, if I'm not mistaken. So the decorum was second and the affordable house was next. However, we're not pushing anything away. We just did not meet on the day of the decorum. And then affordable house was next. So all we're doing is just, we revised it more or less. So having the decorum on the 26th and then moving affordable housing on the 12th, I do not see a problem with that, either way.
Right. That a motion?
Mayor, excuse me, Mayor. I have the availability dates for Mr. Martin. Are you saying March the 12th, Mr. Durgan? That's a Tuesday.
What's that Monday? Is it
The 11th.
Yes.
Okay, the 11th would work according to his schedule, so that would be,
Yes.
12th wasn't on here, so I was just.
Okay.
All right. Is that a motion?
I'd like to make that motion, Mayor.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Make a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Ms. Ox, you call the roll, please.
May I clarify the meeting, Mayor? The motion, so the motion is to have the decorum and application policy for the grant funding on the 26th?
That's correct.
Okay, and then we're going to have on the 11th, the affordable housing.
That's correct.
Okay.
The application policy.
Mhm.
Now, does that include the application for the recreation and these projects for the, is that included in these applications? Did we ever get that form set?
No, ma'am. My understanding was that, grant application and policy was for that 100 grand sitting there for special events. And I know you requested that you wanted a separate one for the funds from the RIDE funds, but then y'all backtracked on that and also said that we're not doing grant funds for that, that we're actually doing it in-house.
Right.
So, Mr. Mayor, if for clarification purposes, Ms. Sykes made a comment that we're doing, we're not doing affordable housing first, but we're doing decorum. So
That's
decorum is taking priority, and we got a motion and a second, am I correct?
That's correct.
By Ms. Young?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Young, you got something further on that?
Oh, he answered, he answered.
Okay. All right, Ms. Sykes, you call the roll, please.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mayor Webb?
Yes.
Y'all see me on Facebook.
Okay. Now, with Departmental Administration, discussion, possible action, approval to pay retainer fee in the amount of $258.7505 to CCC. And Ed, gonna do this, or you?
I'll do it, Mayor.
Okay.
So, basically, they have completed the project, beautiful runway out there. This is just to release the retainage that we require them to do for, as far as the bidding. So we need a motion to release the retainer fee back to the company for completing the job.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I make the motion to approve the funding for the CGC.
Or a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? Ms. Sykes, you call the roll.
Mr. Hill?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Webb?
Yes. Okay, discussion, possible action, transition to county communications, Chief Butler.
Thank you, Mayor. In the report to council, as everyone is aware, we're in the process of transitioning our dispatch center to the county. Right now, due to a couple of technical issues, we're slated for mid-March. During the discussions with city and county HR, it was pointed out, our dispatchers have been loyal employees. They're being transferred to the county through no fault of their own. They have accrued time, sick time, vacation time, and accumulated time. I've already spoke with the county manager who's got clearance from the county commission. Out of the existing police department budget, which we were already set for these PSCO dispatchers, that at the time of the transfer, now the amount that I have here is tentative because if they book off sick, if they get overtime and they take it as accumulated time, the number could fluctuate slightly. But what I'm asking for is authorization at the time of transfer for us to give the county the money so they do not lose their accumulated time. So employees that have been with us for years don't go to zero. The other thing we're asking for in this, and this is through the finance director, for 60 days, once they start employment with the county, they will not have any medical insurance. They lose their city insurance, and it takes 60 days for the county to pick it up. I'm requesting funding taken out of the existing police department budget for COBRA. What that is we will give each employee the funds so that they can purchase the city's medical insurance for the 60-day period. Because the last thing I want to see is one of our loyal employees, kids get sick, because you know that's going to happen in that 2-month period. So I'm asking for permission from the city council through the finance director to make that payment once a transition occurs.
Do we need a motion, Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make that motion that we approve those funds for the staff that's transitioning over to the county dispatch.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion right now? Ms. Sykes, you call the roll.
Excuse me, Mayor, may we just clarify one thing? It's not only the funds going over to the county, it also be authorizing the funds for the 60-day COBRA for the staff as well. Is that okay, Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
May I ask one additional question? Ms. Taylor, was there anything else that we needed on that motion, or did that cover all the things you needed?
Actually, we need to know, are we gonna cover the full 100% or are we gonna pay just the city's portion that we typically pay, the 80%
For the health insurance?
for the health insurance?
Mayor, they would need guidance on
What's
that
your
for staff.
recommendation?
I'd like us to pay the 100%. They're going through a transition through no fault of their own, and with the openings on, I anticipated this to have occurred already, but due to some technology issues, currently we have a lot of openings in dispatch. I didn't fill them because I wouldn't get them trained in time before they went over. So the money does exist for the open position, so I would recommend we pay the full amount for those 2 months.
that good?
A second, a first?
Okay.
First, there you go.
Okay.
So, okay, all right, Mr. Jernigan,
Yes.
all right, Ms. Young,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mayor Win.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, comments of council.
Yes, I have a comment, about this, barrier, whatever you wanna call it, to the public out there. I had no idea this was, I had to ask what was going on with that. At no time, with, like I say, with all these police officers in here, I feel no time threatened from no one in that audience. The purpose of that, I have no idea. I don't agree with it. So again, that's just my point of view. I don't agree with that. Second, I got a call this evening about the band shell. And again, Mr. Johnson, you answered that question, so I'll give that person a call.
Yeah, they called me too.
Oh, okay.
Anybody else have any comments?
Again, Mayor, if I may, on February 16th from 9 to 1, the veterans, they have some things going on at the National Guard Armory. That's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, I'll pass this on to RJ. Hopefully, we can put that out there to try to take care of these veterans and these different programs, because they can get some haircuts, they can get supplies. There's a whole lot of social services they can get. If you know one, please advise of their services, free services at that for veterans. So thank you very much.
Okay, anybody else?
I would just like to say, that I, along with, Councilman Jernigan, attended the, kickoff at, Gateway College for Black History Month. And I certainly appreciate, Dr. Barrett and the, Gateway College, administration, students and all. I just think it was an awesome, opportunity to even recognize, Black History Month. And I just say, let us keep in mind those who were so courageous and who stood and fought to prepare a way for us. So let's keep that in mind, and not just for the month of February, but every day is very important. Thank you.
I've done it out at the college and in various places over the years. I was asked to do it the other day at the college, and I had court at the same time, so I was unable to do it there. But I always enjoyed doing that.
You're well represented.
A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, we're adjourned.
Mayor, thank you for acknowledging Black History Month. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You didn't do it.